Will there be the hundreds of marshals available for a race tomorrow? If they're locals, they're probably due to be into work.
Yeah,
many of them.
I'm not sure what the reaction is when you say to your boss, can't come in today. I'm waving flags for Max Verstappen at Spa. Depends if your boss is a Formula One fan or not, I would imagine. There's the scene in the Alpine garage. It's Esteban Ocon. And the man to his left, or to his right, your left, James is his PR man from the team. He actually woke up on Monday morning after the Hungarian Grand Prix with the winner's trophy from the Hungarian Grand Prix in bed with him. He was cuddling it. He sent me a picture. He was the one charged at Alpine with keeping that trophy safe after the celebrations that went on.
Whatever lights you fire.
Not sure how many of the 10 trophies that you took from a Formula One podium back home with you ever made it to your bedside on a Monday morning. I mean, you took home 10, you're only allowed to keep 9 of them, remember?
I've got all 10, actually.
Have you?
Yes.
You never, ever gave the trophy back?
No, because, no, it's a very long story. I won't bore people with now. Look at that camera position up there. But Rachel Brooks has found George Russell.
I have, Martin, yes, down at the back of the garage. George, just taking on, is that an energy sachet there?
I'm getting a bit peckish, to be honest. I had my lunch a few hours ago now, so if it does get underway, I want to at least have a bit of food in my stomach.
We were talking about this. How difficult is it for you to kind of be in the perfect condition by the time it does eventually start?
I mean, just unique situations. I guess you just adapt and crack on. But it's, I mean, it's such a shame for everybody. You know, people watching at home, the fans here. I mean, I saw some Dutch fans with their tops off before the race, fully enjoying it. So, and it's obviously just frustrating for everyone here.
What were the laps behind the safety car?
I mean, it was. You could just about see behind the safety car doing. I guess we're doing probably 140 miles an hour. But you know, when we get up to 200 miles an hour, that spray is going to be impossible. So, I mean, it was definitely the correct decision to stop, but obviously, as it currently stands, there wouldn't be a classification, which is obviously pretty frustrating for everyone, including ourselves. So, I mean, one way or another, we need to find a way to get the race started, even if it's, I guess, for a second, bring the safety car back out. I think if we can do 2 laps, there can at least be a classification and half points awarded.
So would you like to see that get underway this afternoon, or would you rather go for a whole race tomorrow?
Of course. Sorry?
Would you be ready for a whole race tomorrow if that's what happens?
I guess so. You know, I'm ready for a race whenever. Happy to race every day of the week. But I think logistically, I don't know if that's possible. As obviously we've got a triple header now. All of this has got to go to Holland, so it put a lot of stress on the teams. I guess if we didn't have a classification today, it would be such a shame for everybody. Equally so, even if we were to do 2 laps behind the safety car. But I guess we all, especially Williams, want to see a result at the end of it.
What do you do in this time? Because obviously you're trying to take on something to eat and something to give you a bit of energy for when it does start. But how do you fill the time?
I was just on Twitter, to be honest, just scrolling through.
Same as the rest of us.
Yeah, just chatting with some people, and there's not really a lot you can do. There's not really anything you can prepare for because the conditions are constantly changing. So yeah, just literally just making sure you're pretty chill. I've gone and changed my suit, changed my fireproofs, so I feel a bit more fresh than I did before in my soggy wet. That's about it, really.
All right, great. Listen, thanks very much for talking to us, George. All the best when it does get underway. Thank you.
Yes, I'm sure George Russell would like another lap so we can get a classification. I'm not sure his potential new boss for next year, Toto Wolff, and his current boss as well, because he's a Mercedes driver, would like an extra lap under non-racing conditions, as it were, Martin, because Lewis Hamilton would finish 3rd and Max Verstappen would finish 1st, and he wouldn't have the chance at Mercedes to try and reverse that one. But for George, that'd be his first podium in Formula One. I'm sure he'd love it.
He said it with a straight face, didn't he? As long as we can get a result, we get a couple of laps, then I'll be 2nd.
perspective, that's the work that was going on in the Red Bull garage, still trying to fix Sergio Perez's Red Bull. He crashed on the way to the grid and severe damage to the front of the car. Lawrence Stroll in conversation with Bernadette Collins, the strategy engineer at Aston Martin, and trying to get a handle on what the team, his team could do should we get racing again. And Martin Brundle now should answer the question, where is the trophy from the podium from Detroit, the one that you had taken away by the FIA, but still is somewhere in your collection?
It's at home in a nice trophy cabinet, because Tyrrell got thrown out at the end of the year.
Yeah.
And for a technical reason, because Ken wouldn't agree to something. It was a political thing, I think. But I don't exist for 1984 at all. I never raced. And I'm always credited with 158 races, but I did more than that. And I do not exist. And alongside the trophy are 3 massive chrome screws with which they put my foot back on my leg after my Dallas shunt in 1984. So I've got the chrome screws next door to the trophy to prove that I did exist that year.
Here's Sergio Perez walking through the paddock. I wonder if he's on his way to the Red Bull garage. And if you're Sebastian Vettel, based on the Brundle law of it's my trophy, I ain't giving it back yet. And I know for a fact Aston Martin still have the second place trophy from Hungary. Would you give that back? He was disqualified from the race. If you were Sebastian Vettel, should you give that trophy back?
I can't remember who was third behind me. I know Piquet won the race. I was second in Detroit. Who was it? Alain Prost? No. Theo Fabi. Oh yeah, no, so DeAngelis was behind me, so I took him. Yeah, sadly. DeAngelis died.
But if you were Sebastian
Vettel, for Ricard.
He did, but if you were Sebastian Vettel, would you give that trophy?
I think he's approached.
By when the 3 hours started at 1500. Yeah, that's what I read it as. So we're deep in, aren't we?
So we are deep. So it'll be a time race, highly likely regardless.
Okay, and the Perez car, is he allowed to take pole?
That's the other part. Discussing with the stewards. Based on our regulations currently, let's start the second lane.
Even though none of the grid regulations are followed with wheels on 5 minutes, and you're working in the garage now, so you've got to come to the pit lane, yeah.
Sergio Perez, in the view of the FIA stewards here this weekend, is able to take part in this race if his car can be fixed. Big news from Spa on that one.
Yeah, and Ronnie Meadows at Mercedes is like, really? Are you sure? So many things weren't followed. So now the time, the one I was surprised hadn't started, actually it's now an hour 45. And that was a piece of critical information there, that the 3 hour window under 6.5 of the sporting regs, the maximum race time of 3 hours, will commence at the scheduled race start time. So it was the start of the race, and we are therefore. But what time did he say that was?
1500.
Yeah.
So when they left the grid behind the safety car.
So exactly, which is what I expected. That's what normally happens. The time starts counting down, and it didn't for some reason. So basically, we are an hour and a quarter into the 3 hours, and hence then Michael Massey's comment there of it will be a timed race to 3 hours. So we're already an hour and a quarter into the 3 hours then of this event. Now that that's been clarified, because say it was still showing 2 hours there, wasn't it?
So that's the view from Max Verstappen's car at the front. The question that has to be asked then, Martin, we've got an hour and 44 and a half minutes to go. If they can't restart this race, we've only had 1 lap of racing, as it were, so 1 lap that counts towards the race tally. You need 2 for a classification. The race just gets scrapped. It's null and void. Can they extend this clock?
No, yeah, they can't extend the period of time we've got.
No.
We've agreed that there's quite a bit of daylight left yet, but it's not going to be difficult to do another lap or two behind the safety car, is it?
For half points.
Yeah, for half point. It's not going to be difficult. We're going to send a lot of very wet and unhappy fans home. Perhaps settling into watching on the TV as well. But
people have put a lot of effort and time into following the sport this weekend, and we're really glad of your company on this Sunday afternoon here at Spa. Thank you for joining us. I'm sorry we can't bring you any racing action at the moment, but looking at these pictures, you can totally understand why. Even from the highest points on the track, you can see the mist hanging in the trees below and on the way down to Pouhon. Let's see if I can bring in Anthony Davidson in a few moments' time, but I'm told there's some team radio coming first from Red Bull.
Good news, Sergio will be there.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
thank you very much.
You crack on, and we hope the weather calms down.
Well, so it got referred to the stewards. The stewards could not find a reason for Sergio Perez not to be starting from the pit lane. Anthony Davidson, I can tell you, for the last 45 minutes has been thumbing his way through various articles of the sporting regulations. He has not read this much in such a short space of time since his A-level course. And Enid Blyton, all those years ago, who's a big Famous Five fan. What did you find that the stewards could have used to make that decision, or was there nothing in the regulations that said he couldn't?
Let's be honest, Rocky, it was C spot rather than I think it was the last thing I read. You're right. Great book. I can hardly recommend it.
So it's the best seller.
So yeah, I've been going through the sporting regulations now. I don't claim to be a team manager by any stretch of the imagination. I prefer to be out there doing it any day. But I could not see anything anywhere where it spoke about or said any rules regarding the formation lap to the grid and whether you are or not allowed outside the system, particularly if the race hasn't started. And I think that was the crux of it.
Yeah.
Because the race didn't start, which is a weird anomaly. I've never seen that happen before.
There wasn't a green light to say we were racing.
Exactly. So there's lots of wording about if the parade lap starts and they count those laps behind the safety car as genuine race laps, like we often see. If you don't make it to the grid, you will incur a penalty. Usually it's a 10-second stop-and-go penalty for not making it to the grid if you're outside of position. But it doesn't fall under that because the race didn't start.
Right. Exactly. Well, see, but the thing is, and I'm not trying to preempt a protest, but if I was thinking along the lines of another team of, well, hang on a minute, and look, to be honest, if they just go out and complete another couple of laps, Sergio Perez won't be able to improve his position. But if I was thinking, well, yes, there's nothing to say that the race had started, but it had, in terms of the lap count, had gone down by 1. So Sergio Perez should be a lap down in that respect when he starts from the pit lane, because he hasn't completed the opening lap of this race in terms of the lap count. If we do get going again, there's 43 laps to be completed. The safety car led the cars away from the grid, and you count for the race lap count, the laps behind the safety car -1. So the first lap was a formation lap, the second lap counts to the race count.
Because they've done a lap, in my opinion, the race had started.
Yes.
They were just under safety car formation. If they've done a lap, the race must have started. So it's a bit of a contradiction. And I think that's the loophole which has allowed it to happen.
Yeah. Now my theory on this part would be, by that logic, and thanks for all your work on that one. I could see the steam.
My eyes are hurting now.
I could see the steam pouring off your head. By my logic, Sergio Perez should be a lap down, because everyone else has completed the lap and he hasn't.
Unfortunately, there are 43 laps remaining because we've done 1 lap. So it is. There can never be a regulation that covers every single possibility. I mean, I don't know who is Peter Perfect out there, or Dick Dastardly, or
Penelope
this is
Pitstop.
wacky races, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Completely wacky races. Who's the Anthill mob?
That'd be ours.
It's bizarre, to say the least. And then you have Ron Rob Meadows from Mercedes has the countdown started? Yes, we're a long way. We're an hour and a quarter into the countdown. So somehow on the pit wall, they're not really any wiser than we are in the
I think because the FIA timing screens that were being used had a 2-hour clock in the bottom right-hand corner. And that 2-hour clock is the race time. So, you know, when it's lights out and away we go, you've got 2 hours to get that race completed. The clock stops when you get a red flag, as we have had on many occasions in the past, and then we'll continue again. But the clock that is the more relevant one in this situation is the 3-hour clock, and we'll go back to 6.5 of the sporting regulations. The maximum race time of 3 hours will commence at the scheduled race start time. So that's the 3-hour window to start a race and end the race. The 2 hours that are all on the timing screens is once the race has started to end the race. The race hadn't started because we had so many delays.
As I was putting it, it was the wrong time up there. We've now got the right time. So we've got an hour and 38 minutes left from now before this event, this race is over. Right.
Yes.
And in the middle of that, there may or may not be some action.
And there is Bernd Mailander. Is he on social media as well? He is. What do you do if you're a safety car driver and you can't move from your position, taking a nap on a Sunday afternoon, you know, even at Bernd's age, some of us that are 50 plus, we like a little nap on a Sunday occasionally. You can't do that, so is he tweeting?
He's placing a bet on him winning this race, I think.
That's the view from the safety car, and that's the view behind him. From Max Verstappen's Red Bull. And at the moment, absolutely no indication as to when we could get going again. The rain is still coming down from the heavens here at Spa, and we are under a red flag, and until I think the rain stops or there is a clear break in the weather, we're going to be waiting for some time. So I tell you what, whilst we're waiting for a decision, for some news, as here at Red Bull. Oh dear, steady on, sir. Yeah, look. There's a hurry to get Sergio's car fixed, but you know, you need to make it back to the garage. It shows you just how slippy it is there. I hope he's okay, I really do. So you might have seen in our build-up that Karun Chandhok and Mick Schumacher had a wonderful day at Silverstone recently. If you haven't seen it, you're in for a bit of a treat in a little while, and we'll show you just what happened when Mick Schumacher came face to face with the 191 Jordan at Silverstone. His dad's car from the 1991 Belgian Grand Prix that he made his debut in. We'll show you that in a few moments' time. Yeah, George, what can you do, eh? What can you do? Sit and wait under the brollies as well. Well, George at least has got a bit of a dry area. There's not many dry areas left around the track here. We'll show you the Mick Schumacher feature with Karun Chandhok in a little while. Dare say there was a West Ham fan under that brolly there, Martin Brundle. I see the claret and blue on the banks there.
I feel a window for making a cup of tea coming on when when we see the Karun, the lovely feature again with that one of the most beautiful Formula One cars of all time. The 91 Jordan, with one of the most iconic liveries, actually. One of the great, is blue and green together, but it really works, doesn't it?
I think that particular soft drink manufacturer, you know, whatever they paid Eddie Jordan for that sponsorship, they've been well and truly reimbursed. Danny Ricciardo has got some tunes on. Is it difficult as a driver to kind of keep yourself fresh and on your toes without overdoing it a little bit? It's
not really. This is your office. This is what you do for a living, and you know, you sit around just before you go out to qualifying, and then you throw a lap in. So you're kind of used to it. Or if you're testing, you know, rain comes in, you don't do anything for an hour or two, then you go out and you're flat out from the first lap. So it's what they do. It's what they've grown up doing since they were karting, probably before they were 10.
Yeah. So the tannoy announcer Bob Constanduros on PA duties at the track, trying to let the fans know exactly what is going on. And all we can tell you at the moment is the race delayed due to the weather conditions. There's weather conditions needing windscreen wipers on the safety car that the Formula One cars don't have. And we've just got to wait until the rain stops or slows down. And we can get the cars out on the track to dry things out a little bit, and then maybe, hopefully, fingers crossed, can go racing once again. And when we do go racing once again, if they can get that car fixed down at Red Bull, Sergio Perez will be allowed to start from the pit lane. Right, let's head down to the paddock, I think now. Rachel Brooks is with Toto Wolff.
Toto, good to see you. Thank you very much for coming out to join us. First of all, I just wanted to ask you about the latest situation with Sergio Perez, who we understand has been allowed to start from the pit lane if that car is ready in time.
Okay, well, I don't know. Looks like they can finish the car in time, but I haven't heard that yet.
What's your understanding of the regulations around that? We had some conversations backwards and forwards about whether or not the car can be fixed with or without outside help, I guess, from the marshals to get it back. Do you know? I think
that's probably a first. So everybody's looking at the regulations right now, whether that is what kinds of penalties you would get if the car hasn't been ready on the grid.
From your driver's point of view, we know Lewis said it was very difficult out there visibility-wise. Can you envisage anything starting anytime soon?
Well, I have the same information like everybody else, and in my personal opinion, if it continues like that, you can't start. It's just too dangerous through Rouge, Rédillon, and on the straight. From the second or third car, you have almost no visibility. And as much as I love racing, and I love also the risk of racing, this is maybe a step too far.
Would you accept, I mean, I know that 2 laps could be deemed classification and half points for the drivers. Would you accept that on a situation like today? Or would you rather we try and get it raced tomorrow, perhaps?
I think that the 2 laps are exactly the ones which are most dangerous, actually. It's the start. So I don't think that's going to happen. As in postponing, let's see. I don't know.
Do you think the teams could manage it? I know we're talking about the marshals, whether the marshals can come back and other staff, obviously, because it's a working day here in the week. But do you think you could manage it as a team?
For tomorrow?
Delaying going to Zandvoort for a day as well, yes.
Yeah, I think it's going to be very difficult with Zandvoort. And what we would like to do is for the spectators here, because they've been sitting in the rain since 3 days. I doubt that people will be able to sit there tomorrow, Monday, on a work day. Obviously in the UK it's not a big difference, but it's all very complex these days.
All right, Toto, thanks very much for joining us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Toto Wolff concerned, Martin, about safety, and quite clearly there would not be happy if we even attempted to start a race, and thinks it's better not to do anything than to try and get out there at all.
I'm just thinking it through as I'm looking out the window, and it's teeming down further. I think I don't know, logistically, could we run a race tomorrow? There's no precedent for that. I have had it in America, actually, doing some NASCAR racing where it got rained off on the Sunday, we raced on the Monday. But it's not a precedent for Formula One. And
it's a decision that involves many factors.
Yeah, especially as we are in a triple header now.
Yeah, exactly.
But of course, you know, could you get 2 Grand Prix more close?
Could you confirm how many laps there will be once we restart, please? Well, there's basically those, and then each formation lap we did comes off the race distance as well. So we did 2 laps behind the safety car, so that's 1 lap off, and then 4 delayed starts, so that's 4 laps off. So the race should be 39 laps. 39 was the count from timing that I had. Okay, perfect. That's good on that one. I'm afraid I've got another one still. Go for it. We just wanted to confirm in terms of points. So the laps that we've done so far don't count for points under 6.5, I believe. But if we were to now start behind the safety car and do laps before a rolling start and did 2 of those, then we'd get half points for this race. That would be my general assumption, yes.
So that's a conversation there. I think that was Randeep Singh, was it the strategy director at McLaren, talking to Michael Massey That's the first time we've heard that, and that's the first time we've got that information as well, that the delayed start knocks another lap off the lap count. So instead of 43 laps, we're looking at 39 laps, none of which is mentioned on any timing screen that we might have here in the commentary box. Just to let you know on that one, otherwise we'd have told you that quite a while ago. But with the race delayed due to weather conditions, teams are starting to work out just how many laps we have got to go in this race, and whether there could be a classification should we not get going again.
Yeah, it's. I don't think I've ever known so much confusion. That's 3 serious team managers on the blower asking